One of my targeted topics is geometry, and I found a great resource that focuses on geometry for fourth grade. Two of the standards I will be covering are 431A, which is recognize angles as geometric shapes that are formed when two rays share a common endpoint, and 431D, classify two-dimensional shapes based on the presence or absence of parallel and perpendicular lines, or the presence or absence of specific angles. The resource I will be discussing with you today is LearnZillion Math Instructional Videos. When you go to the website, it gives you a list of different topics like operations with whole numbers or fraction and decimals, for example. But I am going to scroll down to geometry. Once I click on geometry, it gives you more topics. I am going to click on shapes. The first video is identifying quadrilaterals, and I'm going to pick that one because that is one of the things that we learn in fourth grade. This video, it tells you, is 4 minutes and 26 seconds long. It starts by identifying what a quadrilateral is and has students identify a quadrilateral out of a group of shapes. It points out it cannot have curved sides and must be closed. It also shows what shapes are quadrilaterals and which are not. If I were to skip ahead here, it shows us, I like this in this part in the videos, it shows what a common misunderstanding might be. And for that one, it kind of talks about how the students didn't think it was a quadrilateral because the sides looked like they were closing in, but as long as a quadrilateral has four sides that meets at 4 points, it would be a quadrilateral. Then at the end of the video, it kind of just closes by giving an overview of what they learned. So it goes over the three different things they learned in the video here. That you can identify a quadrilateral. All quadrilaterals have four sides. All sides are straight and all sides must meet at a corner. If we go back to the top here, you can just click on shapes. It will give you a list of topics, and the next one I wanted to look at was identifying trapezoids and parallelograms. This is also something we talk about in fourth grade. The video starts again with the learning goal for students to identify the shapes by looking at their shared attributes. It shows shapes that are quadrilaterals and shapes that are not. So this is a review from a couple lessons before, so these lessons do kind of build on each other. It also shows another common misunderstanding. I found this part interesting where it showed how to teach students about parallel sides. So they mark these on the ruler and then drag it across. And if the distance always stays the same, they're parallel sides. I have always just told my students that parallel lines never cross, and we sometimes think of them as railroad tracks. But this is another good way for students to learn about parallel sides. Again, at the end of the lesson, it tells the students what they have learned to identify trapezoids and parallelograms by looking at their attributes. With all of the videos, there is also an additional materials tab here, and that just gives you access to the lesson slides. So these are just the videos broke down into slides. So I could look at this with my students. I could maybe even print this off for my students. I found this LearnZillion resource useful because I could use it with my grade level and the topics match up great to what I'm teaching in my fourth grade classroom. I also look forward to using this as an additional resource in my room. I could start off a lesson with an instructional video, and I think my math students would be intrigued. We look at some videos in reading and quite a few in science, but not very many at all in math. So this would be a perfect change of pace for my students. Thank you.